Hi, my name is Caoimhe. I'm an interior designer and I live here on the Tyrone Donegal border with my husband Charlie and our 4 little boys. We moved in about 7 years ago now, so we always have either a small or big project on the go. So the style of our house is a traditional country style house, and that is sort of given where our location is, but it is reflected in the interior style as well. It's got a little bit more of a contemporary twist on the interior. So this is our main living room. It's where we entertain, it's where we spend time as a family. There's constantly people in and out of here, either in and out from the garden, and it's located just off our kitchen and open plan dining area. So it's definitely a busy area and space in the house. Myself and my husband then will kind of sit down and relax in here in the evening. And we definitely wanted to cozy up the space a little bit. We're not overlooked here, so we didn't necessarily need blinds as for privacy, but we were definitely lacking a little bit of coziness in the evenings, and that is why we decided to add some Roman blinds onto the windows. So the colour palette in here is quite a warm, neutral colour palette. It's quite a calming space, but we definitely wanted to cosy it up a little bit by adding Roman blinds on the 3 windows. I wanted something that would sit well against the neutral colours in the room, but I wanted something that would contrast with them. So I went with quite a light colour on the blinds. I chose the Natural Herringbone fabric with the Rochelle Cream braid just to add a little bit of detail. I think the reason I went for the cream is because it's such a nice contrast against the slightly darker colours on the wall, and I chose the braid detail so that it will be visible from either in the kitchen or across the room. It just kind of draws your eye to that area and just brings a little bit of detail to the blinds. So I decided to have my Roman blinds made to sit outside the recess of the window, and I worked with Material World to finalise a little detail to do that. So there's a little return in the fabric that hides the bracket of the Roman blind, which you wouldn't see if it sat inside the recess. But when sitting outside the recess, it just creates a bigger sense of space. It makes the window look a little bit bigger. And it's just a nice little tip to finish a Roman blind that sits outside the recess to hide the bracket. So this is the second time I have worked with Material World. Just over 2 years ago, I worked with them to do the curtains in our landing space, which really helped to transform that space. So I knew working with Material World was a very simple, easy, straightforward process, and the product is always second to none. So I have visited the Material World showroom in Naas before, but this time I didn't make the journey down. Everything was done virtually, so on the telephone, via email. Material World's website is also really good. It's almost like a virtual library of samples. You can see the fabric, see the detail in them, and then choose what you want to order as samples, which are then sent out in the post. So when I received them, I kind of had a good idea already of what I was looking for from the images on the website, but it was great to have the fabrics in the space, be able to feel them and see them in the space with the other materials. So it made selecting the fabrics very easy. I think when choosing window dressing, you have to really look at the space that you're putting the window dressing into. In this room, for example, a curtain or curtains would never have worked. It was always a Roman blind. That might be different in a different space. So consider the space that you're working with, consider the tones and the other materials in the space so that you have a harmonious finish to the room at the end. Having worked with Material World myself now on a couple of occasions, I know the process is very easy, the customer service is second to none, and I have done and I'm more than happy to recommend them to friends and clients alike.